atikoma unga wasira iwe naona itaya nyumba wakupisha iwe naona itaya atishwa mama ya zanda.
Are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
The question is, why are you still here? So the purpose why you are here is because God has a plan for you. It doesn't take God anything to have you in heaven.
Encouraged to live a life of vision, and you can tell from the text that we have read that there's danger of visionless living. Child of God, I encourage you to live life with a vision, to live life with a focus. If you live life with a focus, you will do anything that
My community, where every voice matters and every story counts.
Si solution kuti bazimwambo bafunika bakasi kenga kwatu maskills kwa mle bashitako banzao so that bashandize command government banga kulenchito maningi chabetinga ita appreciate bakazi ba muna wonse baonongeka.
Counseling sessions for our youths that are people who are using drugs, and also we have a clinic at the University Teaching Hospital.
So
from youth empowerment to health, education, development, and the everyday challenges affecting our people, we bring the community closer to the conversations that inspire change. Watch My Community right here on Bmtv every Sunday at 17 hours. Keep watching Bmtv.
It's a lovely good evening. A warm welcome to Bmtv Main News Bulletin. We're live on channel 114 on your top star decoders. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. And you can stream live on our website, that is www.bmtvzambia.com. Now let me take you through the stories that are making headlines this evening. Mao Sampa joins UPND Alliance. WHO hands over Ebola protective equipment and laboratory reagents to Ministry of Health. Thabo Kawana officiates at the Ministry of Information and Media Labour Awards ceremony. In international news, Nigeria to repatriate more than 1,000 of its citizens from South Africa over the rising tensions. And in sports news, Kafue Celtic launches Rising Stars Under-17 International Tournament. But to present the news in detail, my name is Sondwa. The Patriotic Front faction leader Mao Sampa has officially decided to work with the United Party for National Development UPND candidate Hakainde Hichilema. In his remarks, Sampa says that he decided to dedicate his leadership in serving the Zambian people through a party that has already demonstrated a positive on the promises made to the citizens of the country. He further cited some developmental achievements witnessed by citizens, such as the free education policy, feeding programs in schools, massive recruitments in public sector, to mention but a few.
I trust my God. I had to pray hard. When Sampa came to tell me to say, my sister, let's work, it's because I knew that Maus Wadia Sampa is the president of PF. No two ways about it. So for today, wherever he is, that's where I'll be. Wherever PF will be, that's where I'll be. Some people have gone in other parties because they don't belong to PF. They found us, and there is a trend whereby from when UNIP lost, people ran from UNIP to MMD. When MMD lost, A lot of these people, even those who are studying today in PF to say they are PF, they were MMD, but we welcomed them. So what's wrong with that? I'm just human, and I just want to tell people to say, it's not about people thinking about Indalamenda. No, we are not talking about money here. We are talking about Ukubomba, Tientu Bombe. Thank you.
Vasata na vaiti galungu vari vashire plot ku state road jikuru vasakula ka 7 squatter tapoka ngakule nganda nomba chali umino mupini mu 2021 vaikala fye kulia muri mu 7 squatter mo veikala nomba bali balabako tapabo wewe bukisha na ilefe pa gate pabo pipi kuingira kusanga nabalala 13 hours natimayo iseni kwati fila mwana wasa bamubufishe nati iseni mayo niwe bachale ba PF te papa ngo tabale batumina abantu the last 6 years number 4 yenirelira but bulabireko anyway, in the interest of time, before I read my statement, let me introduce the man here. He will tell us who he is and what positions he held in government under Sata's government, and then we move on to my statement.
The World Health Organization has handed over Ebola personal protective equipment, PPE, and laboratory reagents to the Ministry of Health in a move aimed at strengthening Zambia's preparedness and response to potential Ebola outbreaks and other public health emergencies. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Ministry of Health officials said that the donated supplies will enhance the country's capacity to detect, prevent, and respond to infectious diseases threat. The equipment will support frontline healthcare workers by ensuring their safety while providing care and handling suspected cases. The laboratory reagents are expected to improve testing capabilities and strengthen disease surveillance system, enabling health authorities to respond swiftly to any public health risks. The Ministry of Health expressed gratitude to the WHO for its continued partnership and support in safeguarding public health, noting that the contribution demonstrates the importance of international cooperation in strengthening health system and emergency preparedness. The handover comes as Zambia continues to reinforce its disease surveillance and response mechanisms to protect citizens from emerging and re-emerging health threats.
The situation is still not under control, but for every outbreak there is hope. As I speak to you now, close to 281 confirmed cases in Congo. 64 deaths were reported. There are more than that. Over 200 were suspected deaths. 34 health workers were infected. 6 of them have died. There are close to 4,300 contacts that have been followed in Congo. This outbreak with Budio is the third in history. It first appeared in 2007 in Uganda, in the district called Budio, and that's why the name has come up. The second outbreak was reported in 2017 in Congo, and this is the third outbreak. Different in nature and perhaps challenging in the context. This is the 17th outbreak, Ebola outbreak in Congo. Congo has experienced all the 3 species, or subtypes, Zaire, Sudan, and Ethiopia. And it is the most challenging and the complex outbreak in the history of Congo, the second being in 2017. This outbreak is quite complex because it occurs in a town or in communities in a province that are fragile.
The Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana has officiated at the ministry's Labour Awards ceremony. The ceremony was held to recognize and celebrate the dedication, commitment and outstanding performance of members of staffs who have contributed to the ministry's mandate of providing information and communication services to the public. Mr. Kawana commended the award recipients and encouraged all employees to continue demonstrating professionalism, hard work and excellence in service delivery. He further emphasized the importance of teamwork and commitment in advancing the ministry's objectives and supporting national development. Well, in another story, Tobacco Board of Zambia has secured a buyer for tobacco producer by self-sponsored growers, a development that is expected to bring relief and confidence to farmers who have financed their own production during the 2025-2026 tobacco growing season. The move underscores the board's commitment to ensuring that every marketable tobacco crop grown in Zambia has access to a ready market. The board recognizes the critical role played by self-sponsored growers in tobacco industry and remains committed to creating an enabling environment that promotes sustainable production and marketing of tobacco. Speaking on the development, TBZ Executive Director Mr. Robert Mwale said that the board places a high premium on protecting the interests of growers and ensuring that no farmer is left behind. Mr. Mwale noted that the board remains committed to working closely with the industry stakeholders to strengthen market opportunities and enhance the competitiveness of Zambia's tobacco sector. The Electoral Commission of Zambia says that in July 2024, the Electoral Commission of Zambia appointed the Electoral Reform Technical Committee, ERTC, adding that it is a primary mandate was to review electoral laws and administrative policies. Upon conclusion of its work, the ERTC submitted its final report to the government on 22nd April 2025. The report by the ERTC served as a fundamental reference during the subsequent review of the Constitution of Zambia, leading to the enactment of the Constitution Amendment Act number 13 of 2025. Notably, the amendment constitution introduced a mixed number proportional representation MMPR system. This system combines the traditional first past the post FPTP method with proportional representation PR. It adds that these constitutional changes required the Commission to review the Electoral Process Act to ensure full compliance and the implementation of new constitutional framework, specifically to give effect to Article 47, which was introduced to the MMPR system. The review process was inclusive. The Commission shared proposed amendments with the stakeholders to solicit vital submissions and participation in the process. Well, on that note, we go for our first break. When we come back, it's international news and sports news. Stay tuned.
Ansatawiya kwana nifuna kuvinana muzanga juli atitosa manja matumba kwela ativine itirize muzikola mutendera mama uno Zambia chimata. You know, other colleagues would do it on, like American hip-hop, instrumentals and stuff like that. That was mostly because there were no studios back then, like around that time, you see. But for me, I got touched by those comments, and I wanted to believe that what I was doing was Zambian music. So the challenge on the beat being Jamaican, that touched me. So I decided to just tweak it a little bit, work on it so that I can make it my own. And that's when like Zambezi music was born. ati ona ndalama wa mwera iwe naona waitaya ati koma unga wa sira iwe naona itaya nyumba wakupisha iwe naona itaya ati shua mama ya zanda.
Well, you are still watching the BMTV main news bulletin, and we thank you so much for staying with us. Now, let me take you through the stories that are happening across the world. Nigeria says it will repatriate more than 1,000 of its nationals from South Africa as anti-immigration tension rise in the country. Screening for Nigeria's voluntary repatriation scheme started on Thursday, a spokesperson for the Foreign Ministry told reporters. In a communique dated Tuesday, Nigeria's High Commission in Pretoria said it had negotiated waivers with host authorities so that those with immigration-related offences will be allowed to leave on the eventual repatriation flights rather than being detained. We have African News with the details.
Nigeria says it will repatriate more than 1,000 of its nationals from South Africa as anti-immigrant tensions rise in the country. Abuja's foreign ministry said screening for the voluntary repatriation scheme started on Thursday. The spokesperson said it has negotiated waivers with Pretoria to ensure Nigerians with immigration-related offences are allowed to leave. The move comes after Ghana recently helped hundreds of its citizens leave South Africa in response to a wave of protests and violence targeting foreigners. One of the continent's most industrialised nations, South Africa has long attracted workers from across the region. But now, with an unemployment rate of more than 30%, it's seen repeated bursts of xenophobic protests, including renewed violence in recent weeks. The latest tensions have revived debates across Africa about the gap between Pan-African rhetoric and the realities facing migrants on the continent.
Hundreds of Libyan gathered outside the UN Refugee Agency headquarters in Tripoli on Thursday to protest against irregular immigrant and refugees whom they say should leave the country, Libya. Demonstrators chanted "Libya belongs to Libyans," among other chants, and called for the closure of the UNHCR headquarters in the capital. They accused the UN agency of seeking to settle irregular migrants in the North African country. Protesters were seen holding signs reading "Our love for our country is not racism," and "Libya is not the world's garbage bin." Once more, we have African News with details.
Demonstrators chanted "Libya belongs to Libyans" among other slogans and called for the closure of the UN Refugee Agency office in Tripoli. They accused the agency of seeking to resettle irregular migrants in the North African country. Some protesters held signs reading "Our love for our country is not racism" and "Libya is not the world's garbage bin." Libya is a key departure point for irregular migrants seeking to reach Europe by crossing the Mediterranean. As of mid-2024, the International Organization for Migration estimated that around 900,000 migrants and refugees were living in Libya. Many of them are Sudanese refugees who have fled war in their home country. The UN mission in Libya, in a statement, denied allegations it was planning to resettle migrants in the country. The mission said it was concerned about the spread of misinformation, disinformation and hate speech regarding its work in Libya.
Well, I do appreciate you staying with us right here. Now we go for a second break. When we come back, it's sports news. Stay tuned.
Lift it up.
Hi there, my name is Teresa Lideda. I am your host for Sounds of Glory right here on BMTV channel 114 on Top Star. Join me every single Sunday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. as we worship the Lord together. The word of the Lord says, "Let everything that has breath Praise the Lord. Psalm 34. Join me.
Morning breaks, we call your name. Every word you speak, it stays the same.
Welcome back and thank you so much for being with us. Now we go straight into the world of sports, where Kafue Celtic Football Club has officially launched the inaugural Rising Stars Under-17 International Tournament, marking a major milestone in the club's efforts to promote young football development. The tournament taking place at Cloaks Swamps ground in Chamba Valley, Lusaka, has brought together top under-17 teams from Zambia, Malawi and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Participating teams includes Kafue Celtic under-17, the Zambia under-17 select team, Nyasa Big Bullets under-17, Ascent Soccer under-17 and the Academy Les Agres Du from the DRC Congo, also the under-17. Speaking during the launch, club officials described the tournament as a platform aimed at providing young players with international exposure. With its international exposure, fostering cultural exchange and strengthening regional football partnership. The competition is expected to showcase some of the region's brightest young talent while creating opportunities for scouts and football stakeholders to identify future stars. The Rising Star Under-17 International Tournament runs from June 5th to the 7th of June 2026.
We have scouts that are coming. We have Frederick Kanute, our consultant. So with these guys coming on board, these kids have got a chance to, showcase their talent and, maybe be scouted and, have a future out there, So basically this is to showcase the kids' talent and also just create an opportunity for all these players. And basically it's more on showcasing what we have to offer in terms of football.
Yeah, so as you are aware that both Malawi and Zambia are running youth football competitions. And this is also an opportunity for us, whether the competitions are very competitive or not, but we are very sure that we will exchange knowledge and also experiences on how we are running these youth football competitions, both in here in Zambia, but also Malawi.
Participate in main team winner, team and Kaisuya, the Kailede, Nadia, Tibozegere, game of Meneriga Meniere. Almost it's a kind of man, the Kakanmanta, this is many of the Timan Timena Rosa Candy Coff Daisy, Nadia, Garantu Zuan now, the kind of man, down in 10 minutes, Menina.
Yeah, I'm Carlos Davis Nyangwe. I'm the head coach for Zambia Select. Our expectation in the tournament is try to, like we've prepared the boys to be selected for being seen by the scouts. That's the biggest thing that we've worked on the players, and I'm sure if we win, then it's to the boys, yeah. But our aim as coaches, we're trying to push the boys so that they can be picked and be selected with the scouts.
Take that as an opportunity. It's an amazing thing to have our hospital be flagged outside Zambia. And that means so much to us as PHI Family Hospital. So it means, of course, we're an excellent hospital, but it means that we also need to widen up our services and also just perfect certain areas that need perfection.
Still in sports news, Gela Diao scored a goal and set up the winning strike as Ivory Coast surprised France and Dios brothers in the French dugout with a 2-1 victory in the World Cup warm-up match on Thursday. Amad Diallo fired home Dios low closer from the right 6 minutes from time at Stade de la Beaujoire in Nantes. Rayan had put France ahead of the final minute of the first half when he left two defenders behind and beat goalkeeper Yaya Forna with a lowest shot. Forna was frequently in action, saving the chances of Kylian Mbappe. Michelle Olis and again Sheki. We've got details from African News.
Ivory Coast surprised France with a 2-1 defeat on Thursday at the Stade de la Beaujoire in Nantes. France opened the scoring through Ryan Cherki just before halftime. Ivory Coast equalized just after the restart before Ahmad Diallo struck the winner in the 84th minute. I think they overestimated us a bit. That's exactly what we're going to show the World Cup. Watch out, you've been warned. We're coming to win the World Cup. The shock result was met with caution from Ivory Coast manager Emas Faye and lamentation from Didier Deschamps. France will play one more warm-up against Northern Ireland on Monday before flying to the US. We were in the game. We managed the first half well and did what was required. We saw the quality of this Ivory Coast team in the...
Well, on that note, we end our news bulletin. We do appreciate for staying with us and get to join us again tomorrow at 12 hours and 18 hours. This has been Sontua Morris Sinkala on behalf of the technical team. On transmission, Mr. Jackson Tembo. On camera 1 and 2, Mr. Aldrich Kampamba and Douglas Banda. Our newsroom, Ruth Msakabantu and Mr. Temwani Nkata, our news editor. Well, keep on watching BMTV and keep it here.